Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. It's your brother King Simon, of course. Hey, you know I got the background. Please tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell everybody that the show that we're about to start, we're gonna have a licensed social therapist, social worker. We're also gonna have a psychotherapist and a spiritual therapist. We're gonna be speaking about the multiple levels of spiritual therapy. So make sure you share it with people. And tell everybody that King Simon is on, having a good time. We're about to start. Don't touch that dial, family. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell your cousin that King Simon is coming up right after this.
Greetings. Enter to win 500 grams of silver grains. The 100 subscriber to banksilver.org will win 500 grams of silver 0.999 grams.
Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Strayhorn, inviting you to heal with the numbers and cards in person at the Circle of Cosmic Consciousness Retreat in New Orleans. Go to stshealing.com to learn from the Masters, Aquarius Maximus, King Simon, Nina Diamond, Jazz Aphrodite, and myself. Don't forget, New Orleans, August 17th through the 20th at the Cosmic Consciousness Retreat. Register now at stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. See you there.
Billy Carson here, aka Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about an amazing event. It's the Forbidden Conscious Awards going down in Miami, July 30th, 2023. Go to forbiddenknowledge.com where you can pay for tickets. We're giving away 12 amazing awards. We're also going to give away an Audi A4 live at the event with big celebrity guests like Habit from Mobb Deep, myself, Forbidden Knowledge. Also, we'll have Dame Dash, performances by Donnie Arcade and Cruz. I want to see you there, July 30th, the Forbidden Conscious Awards.
Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numerovator. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktr.ee/King Simon, the Numerovator. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now. This is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.
That's right, family. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and tell everybody that King Simon is on the air right now. Tell everybody, tell your family and friends. Got a lot going on, family. I hope everybody's feeling well. How you doing today? Tonight we have a special guest tonight, so I want to make sure all of you are ready for this special guest that's coming in. Let me throw in some other music here. Boom. Come on. Where's my music? Let's throw in some good Afrobeat right now. Yes. If you're tuned in and locked in, thank y'all very much for shocking in and stopping in and doing what you got to do tonight. We got a great show for ya. We got Jessyca Marshall coming in at approximately 5 minutes. She'll be right here with us. And don't forget, my dear partner in Vibe, the one, the only Dr. Shakira Moore will be in the office hours with Dr. G on their YouTube channel at Nyla Speaks. So make sure you hit up that Facebook or the official House of Reawakening Minds. Make sure you check them out this coming Tuesday, June the 27th from 8 to 10 p.m. Dr. G and Dr. Shakira Moore is going to tear the place up. Don't forget, Dr. Shakira Moore will return right here with her whole new spiritual website and everything that she's doing. Also, we're going to talk about iridology, but also the spiritual meanings of the different journey. Your greater self is waiting on you. We're going to speak about that on July the 5th. And do remember, Jessyca is coming in live and direct. We're going to talk about how Nubia, Africa, and Asiatic cultures are responsible for the reemergence of Tantra and much more happening on July the 9th. So make sure you tell all your family members that King Simon is going to be on with these beautiful women coming up. And then the Wednesday coming after that, we're going to have the one, the only Aisha J. Sims, author, spiritual advisor. She'll be here with us also in July. The month of July is going to be hot. And don't forget, if you want to get silver, or you want to be the 100 subscriber to win 500 grams of silver, make sure you go to www.banksilver.org. That's banksilver.org, and tell them King Simon sent you. And remember, my brother Lloyd Strayhorn, 800-581-4401, the world-renowned astronumerologist. Make sure you hit him up, lloyd-strayhorn.com. Take his classes, whatever you need to do with Lloyd, make sure you do it. And big up to Phil Valentine. Phil Valentine is in it right now. You might not be able to get in right now because he's already in it since 2 o'clock. So big up to Phil Valentine doing his workshop today. And do remember, Forbidden Knowledge happening July the 30th. I will be on the red carpet with Nikki and many other people hosting and emceeing that red carpet and having a good time. And do remember also, don't forget, in August, we're going to be in New Orleans. That's right, from the 17th all the way to the 19th with myself, Jackie Levine, Nina Diamond, Aquarius Maxim, and the legendary Lloyd Strayhorn will be in the building. All right, that's going to be happening. Make sure you get your tickets at stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. And do remember, Baba Ashraf Kwesi and Mira Kwesi is coming to the new venue in Brooklyn, New York, the Alkaline Oasis. If you want to find out further information about them, make sure you call them at 347-240-1211. But if you want to get that Cash App or PayPal lesser price, all you have to do is call me and text me right now, family. If you want to text me right now to get that rate, that cheaper rate, please, by all means, do what you got to do to make it happen. If you do want to advertise with your brother, remember, advertisement doesn't cost, it pays. So make sure. Make sure. If you want to do that, make sure you email me at ksptvmedia@gmail.com. If you want to advertise on my show, if you got any good products, remember, I only present quality products, quality people, and just like good quality products over there at Drop Squad Kitchen, make sure you go to Wilmington, Delaware, and have a good time at the Drop Squad Vegan Kitchen. Beautiful kitchen, I'm telling you. 928 Jefferson Street in Wilmington, Delaware. Make sure you call that number right there on the flyer. And don't forget, EPS Holistic Health and Wellness .square.site. Make sure you support Elizabeth. We had her on recently, so big up to Elizabeth and all that she's doing. I use her products for my muscles. She got the CBD product, and it works well when I'm doing after my good training and my workout. And don't forget, Nicholas Brooklyn is in the building. Make sure you go to Nicholas Brooklyn, 10% off at Nicholas Brooklyn with this flyer. Take a snapshot of this flyer right now and then bring it to them and say you heard this on King Simon to get 10% off on all retail purchases. And do remember, Baba Ashraf Kwesi and his beautiful Empress takes people on trips to Egypt from Cairo all the way to Nubia. Call them right now at 214-371-0206. It's a historic, it's not one of the metaphysics trip, it's a historic trip, so don't get it twisted, all right? And if you do want to buy any of my books, please go to Linktr.ee /King Simon, the Numerovator. I got 4 books, got 6 more that I'm writing. Also, if you want to take any of my classes, this is 2-hour classes on Udemy right now. The Holistic Numerovation Introductory course. If you want the full 8-hour meal, that's the full 8-hour raw uncut. You have to text me. Text me if you want to use Eventbrite or if you want to pay via Cash App or PayPal. I'm telling you, family, that 8-hour course is something else. It breaks it down. And if you do want to book a session with me, my list is in July right now, so do text me. Your full name and date of birth is 347-496-1022, 347-496-1022. Remember, the study of numbers is applied mathematics, and if you learn how to use these numbers and apply them, they'll work for you. Remember, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be, all right? And do remember, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfections. No one in this realm is perfect. All right, family, we're getting ready to bring on this beautiful lady. Let me turn off this music that I have in the background as we get ready to bring her on. Yes. This is her first time on my show, so I'm very happy. Again, please like, subscribe, and share, and please thumb up this video just to build the algorithms. And remember, this is a troll-free zone, so trolls, please take a stroll somewhere else. We ain't got no time for the foolishness. I ain't got no time for it. That's just what I am. You know how we do. But this lady that I'm about to bring on, Jessyca, is a licensed social worker, Columbia University alumni, and former faculty advisor for over 20 years in mental health field in a wide range of roles, including licensed therapist, non-for-profit director, administrator, and group facilitator. She is also the owner of a natural hair and beauty business, Naturally Beautiful Hair Care, and a new nonprofit, Here to Empower, which is a fusion of mental health, empowerment, and hair and beauty support, primarily for Black women. And her work focuses on expanding mental health support for all individuals, including stylists and clients, and expanding entrepreneurship opportunities in hair care within the Black community. Without further ado, I don't have my applause button and all that kind of stuff that I usually have, but I'm going to welcome right here on the virtual stage of King Simon Presents, the one, the only, Jessyca Marshall. What's up, Jessyca? How you doing?
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling all right.
You're looking good. You're looking good.
Thank you. Pardon my cat in the back. She doesn't want to leave. I keep trying to get
all right. Don't worry. Cats do that for me all the time. Like I'm a cat whisperer, so they come. They hear my voice and they won't leave. Don't worry. They ain't going nowhere. I have a story behind that. Believe me when I say.
Yeah, well, cats are spiritual beings and
yes,
very therapeutic. So
yes.
It's good she's there.
It's good. I love the cats. I love the cats. Don't worry. I love cats, man. Matter of fact, one of the stories I remember was I was in Miami, and this couple was coming from the beach, and I was walking to the beach late at night for the moon acknowledgement and respect. And they say, "Yo, there's too many cats. There's hundreds of cats over there. They're not letting anybody through." I said, "It's all right. I'll be going through." Soon as I walked and came towards them, they opened up the way for me to walk in, and then closed back. That's how deep it was. It was a moon. There was people that were doing moon celebration, but I went on my own and just did, acknowledge the new moon and all that kind of stuff. And they opened up, and then boom, I was like, okay, we still got it. I still got it.
They know your presence.
Yes. And my life path is a number 17, and that also in numerology, the word cat adds up to that number 17, which is interesting. When I found that out, I said, okay, I'm turned on.
Okay.
We're broadcasting on Facebook, family. We have the great Jessyca Marshall, licensed social worker, of course, spiritual psychotherapist, hair care entrepreneur. You can email her also if you want to contact her. You can also hit her up at the IG, the microlock.mastery, and Here to Empower on IG. And she got Cash App. Spread love.
There's a lot of info down here.
No, that's not. Don't worry, we do that. Spread love. They can take a snapshot. They can see what's going on. This is what it's all about. This computer age, girl. This is technology. We having fun. And this is her website. If you want to link in and lock into everything she's doing, it is what it is, family. Join the forces and have fun with her. And look here, this is the topic for today. Multiple levels of spirituality. And why I put it at multiple levels, because she deals with the fusion. It's a fusion of mental health. But first, I want to ask her what made her get into want to bringing the fusion of mental health and hair and beauty support. Primarily for Black women, but I know men need it too. So please, let's talk about it.
Because it seems like there'd be two opposite things that don't normally make sense together, but that's because that's how we've reduced it down to nowadays. But historically, hair has been significantly spiritual. But you said the fusion of therapy. Yes. I think as I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do as I was growing up, I had this idea, and I spoke to my mother and I said, I would love to like help people with their problems, like lay and come and talk to me. What would that be? And so she said, oh, it sounds like maybe a therapist or a social worker. And then I started looking into it. But hair had always been, anybody in my family, anybody who knows me from a child knows hair was my hobby. I wanted to do dolls' hair, family members' hair. And it was just like this real strong urge. I think there's a lot of people that can relate to that. Yes. You have a passion, a gift from a child. You self-teach yourself these things. You're very interested. That's right. And so that's kind of how that came about. But I never could have envisioned it merging the way that is merged today. I thought it was something that I like to do. I taught myself how to braid at about 7.5 years old. And then I said, can I braid my little sister's hair? Can I braid the little cousins in the family's hair? Can I be my job? And fast forward to doing my own hair. I only saw it as a hobby at that time. When I went to here's how I think the first real big sign that this was going to come together was when I was getting a master's at Columbia in Manhattan, as you know, is a predominantly white and predominantly higher socioeconomic status, quote unquote, students. So I was a chocolate chip in a sea of white people, and the Black people that I met had overwhelmingly natural hair. I was very surprised at how many Black people had natural hair at Columbia. But I had such a need. There was like an underlying self-hate that I had with myself that I would look at it and say, why does she comb her hair? She's not around enough Black people. Like, why doesn't she perm her hair? This coming from me. And I went through this whole big, I call it like an emotional like reset. Like I broke down about my identity, being a Black person, feeling attractive, like I belonged. And so I stopped perming my hair a few years before that from learn about my Black history at University of Pittsburgh. Excellent Black history, African history department. I learned I didn't want to look like a European, but I still had struggles with accepting myself. And when I saw those Black women and some Black men with locks just confident in how they looked, I was breaking down. But I was like, I like hair, but what is this coming from? So I had to go through this whole like process of self-rediscovery to really accept. There's layers of accepting myself I'm still going through to today. That was a huge one. And so fast forward, I started to learn and teach myself how to love and care for my own hair naturally, and started just taking classes and as much information. And I said, well, I want to help other women do this because this was helping me feel better about myself. And at the time I had a boyfriend and he was like, don't put that weave in your hair. Don't put those braids. This is so beautiful. He was acting so dramatic. He was like, oh my goodness, this nappy hair is so beautiful. I had never heard any man ever talk to me or any woman about their natural hair in that way. And I was like, what? This actually
Where you been? I'm like, where you been? We've been doing this for a long time.
I always tell him, and I don't think he really fully understands how much he changed my life by just responding to me that way. And I know you and I go way back, and I used to do events and panel discussions where I had a whole brand that was about men that supported brothers that love sisters with natural hair.
That's right. That's right.
I said everything that I do for my business, that I do with therapy, a lot of it is a direct connection to an experience that I've had that was transformative, and that I want to support others who may have a similar experience. So the therapy.
Let me ask you, before you move on, I don't want to go too fast. We have enough time. We got at least 45 minutes. We got 45 minutes to an hour. Take it back a little because, there's a lot of people out there that's going to rewatch this, and a lot of people all over the world, because I'm broadcasting all over the world, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth.
Okay.
And tell them what made you feel that you didn't love yourself, and where did that come from back in your day, before you started acknowledging your own culture and what made that? Where did that come from?
We're gonna get real. I've been getting real on my Facebook page. We're gonna get real.
I have to.
I think it's many different things.
Right.
But the primary areas we feel love and support come within our own family.
Yes.
Our inner circle.
Right.
Usually mother, father, siblings. And so not to say I was told, well, I've had some things that I felt were introduced to me about my identity and my looks very young, but it did not, it was exacerbated by the environment, right? Not seeing yourself in a beauty standard, not, I didn't even know how to do my natural hair because I never seen it. I had a perm at 11 and I was like, finally, I feel a little bit more, I feel a little pretty now. And I had how many women can relate to putting that towel on or a t-shirt on your head and you whipping it and now your hair moves and now you,
No, that's, and my mother and my sister and them, because they used to have that hot comb back in the day to straighten up the hair. I used to watch them doing it, Even one time, I even wanted Jerry curls and find out Jerry was a bald white man. So, I mean, but I understand, it stems back because, even my past dealing with my complexion, they always, used to fight that back in the day. There was always that dynamic, that Willie Lynch syndrome type thing. So I'm glad that you was able to overcome. How did your mother feel about this? I know you spoke to her on this.
First, I want to acknowledge what you just said, which is really powerful too.
Yes, go ahead.
We don't realize how many men have similar struggles. Complexion, hair texture, facial structure. Yeah. And it's mind-blowing. So I want to thank you for sharing that because
some of them, that's if they are traumatized, they won't make a good relation. That's the question. See, most people, men and women, meet each other for a reason. But if one is not healing or working on their healing and the other is, then it's not going to work. It's like a crackhead and a sober person. It's not going to work. So we gotta. There's more healing circles for sisters than there is for brothers out there now. And the healing circle that men have is the gym. It might be a football game and a basketball game. I'm not even into basketball. I'd rather be with a bunch of women and chill out and hang out with them than I hang out with football games and teams. All I was into martial arts, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I would watch. But no, it's just to know that a lot of this pain can also pass on to boys, their children, the little boys, which has happened to me in my case with my mother. So and I'm here at my mother, but my mother and father is not together. So it comes from a lot of that. And then cultural differences too. When they come from the Caribbean, they have their classism. Oh yeah. They'll tell, I remember, my aunt said, how come he came out so black? That's what my aunt said. Exactly. So when that started happening, it's like, okay, I didn't know. That's why in my book I talk about it, Numerovation for Mental Stability, thinking about taking my life at 8 years old because I didn't feel loved.
I did read that. I read that in your book.
Oh, you got my book? Oh, you got my book? I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, I should have put it up for it.
It's all right. We're talking about you today. Don't go into my book. But no, I'm just happy that you're able to tap in, and I guess that's what led you into the mental health field. All that you. Now, and what year did you go into the mental health field?
Well, I can't say exactly. I've been volunteering since I was a teenager, like with children. I always felt like I wanted to help and support, but I think I made a clear decision. Probably like high school. I would volunteer in the special ed classes. I really started to. Even though I wish there needs to be more curriculum about emotional health and mental health, I started to realize the importance of at least some of the mental health parts with working in.
Which high school was that?
I went to so many different high schools, but this high school was in the Poconos. My mother moved us from Jersey.
The Poconos, get out of here.
And I graduated from Pocono Mountain High School, but I went to 4 different high schools through my high school career.
I was just in the Poconos too. Get out of here. Poconos, get out of here. I was out there.
Yeah, the Pocono. it's interesting dynamics there too.
Yes, it is. I love the scenery though. I like the quietness in certain parts of the Poconos. I enjoyed that. It's just like where I'm staying in Stone Mountain. It's very quiet.
Very beautiful aesthetically.
So it started in high school, volunteering. So what made you see a lot of deeper, because you must have seen it amongst the young people.
I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah.
I started to see things within my own family. And I really couldn't explain it.
Yes.
I not here to bash or be negative. I'm just here to speak truth. There's a lot of people who have similar experiences.
Yes.
And the dynamics, I started to notice unhealthy dynamics around me and then involving me. And then because once I identified I wanted to go in like mental health professional track, I started taking more classes, and then that's what I did in college.
Big up to Dr. Shakira. She said she graduated from the same high school in Poconos. Yeah, Dr. Holistic.
What year?
Yeah. What year?
I feel like I'm older now, so like everybody feels
you might be a little older. You might be a little, but hey, look, me and Biggie went to the same school, and he came after me. So.
Oh, okay.
So that's good. No, that you know, coming from the family that, like, I've noticed it in my family. If you read it in my book, my grandmother and my grandfather, my great grandfather, it was in their family, and recognizing it. She said 2011. Okay, she graduated 2011. Okay, so she's younger.
Little baby. No, just playing. By 2011, I was grown. I don't even want to tell you what year, because you were born a year. I graduated in 98, girl.
Oh, you graduated in 98? Oh, you graduated in 98. Okay.
98. Okay.
But did they have a mental health program inside that high school? Right?
There was like you know how they would call it resource room in some schools.
Yes.
I don't know if they call it resource room. I don't know if they call it in some schools, but it's the special ed class.
Right. Special ed.
They were like cognitively and delayed. So I would go. I forgot how often I would go down to the class. It was like I think it was like built into the curriculum. I can't quite remember, but I did think I got a grade for that class too, and I got stellar report for it. But I also knew that I didn't have the patience to work with like severely cognitively delayed. I had to be honest, but I did still have a passion for people who needed support mentally and emotionally.
So you did notice this from high school, that even in the special ed program, and that this mental health is something really back in those days. You know?
I also feel like there's an important thing I wanted to mention about.
Yeah, please.
I felt like there wasn't enough support.
Yes.
You know, we have counselors, but just for us.
Right.
It's not a lot of support.
Right.
And that's the highest rates of depression, the highest rates of suicide you're going to find in high school age and college. Like even at transition from high school to college, suicide attempts, all of the counseling offices are packed, especially when there's like a major world event happening like COVID or 9/11, like it's jammed. And 9/11 happened while I was getting ready to graduate college 1 year before I came to Manhattan. And we had to spend a whole bunch of time talking about that, but there wasn't really enough. And that's when people started noticing, I think, at least in the schools of social work or other mental health schools, that we really need to beef up the support we give students and people. But what you talk about also with the family dynamics is, I love Joy DeGroy. I'm sure you.
Of course, she's in Georgia now. She's born the 16th of October, so she's in Georgia.
You know everybody's numbers.
I mean, I just know, you know me.
Powerful work she's doing.
Yes,
she's a fellow social worker, and I can really see, even in my own family, the pervasive low self-esteem. I think that's one of the biggest issues that we deal with, because out of that, even though we can act like we're confident and we can act like where we have all these things, there's an underlying ingrained generational sometimes belief that we are not good enough, or something that gets triggered by seeing other people do well, or it's just really deep. And I also think we have a lot higher rates of depression, and we're functioning. That's why grandpa or your uncle was always drinking. He was a functioning alcoholic or a not functioning alcoholic. So you see these things in your family. You see you know, just the behavior, the language, how we interact. And it took me going through the courses and things I went through to help like really understand mental health, and in the Black community to really say, oh my goodness, this is what's happening, and I need support.
Yes. And you know, and the powerful thing, and people that are just tuning in, we have our dear friend, my dear friend, Jessyca Marshall. She's even been to my mother's house to drop off things back.
You say it like we sat and had
we never sat with you, but you used to come to
lunch.
We used to come to events and stuff. You used to come to these
and pick up a DVD or something from
you. But you know, I've known you for a while, you know, and being born under that number 7 energy, I'm not surprised that you're in the mental health field, because that is one of the main primary numbers in numerology that can attract the imbalance, if they don't stay balanced, you know. So you know, people, she's a licensed social worker, but she's also a spiritual and psychotherapist, and she deals with the fusion of the beauty and hair care empowerment through health, you know, mental health empowerment through that. And so beautifying yourself is so important, because there's certain women and men, but certain women, so she's focused on Black women, there's certain women that don't love themselves at all till this day. And they still remember. You remember the doll survey they did?
They did that at a place I ended up working at. That was Northside Center for Child Development in Manhattan, on the top of Central Park. I think it's still there, but that's where the research came from.
And the results are still happening today. The results are still happening, that our young girls and the young boys don't really love themselves. Now, what do you say about those results, especially with our children, and how can we pinpoint and get to these next generations?
It's so important. I always felt that visual reinforcement, whether commercials, images, that permeates into the brain. Right. I feel like, and how we talk about it, like, oh, she's so pretty for a dark girl, but she's so pretty. Tell the dark-skinned girl she's so pretty. Like you would. We see these things, and they stay wired in our brains about how we are, where we fit into that. Right. So if you are chubbier, or if you dark-skinned, or if your nose is bigger, and you notice that people who don't look like that are always represented or seen as beautiful externally in the environment, also within your home. Right. That just sends you a message. It's I think we have to really work to counter that. So we really have to tell our daughters they're beautiful and mean it. Even if, I mean it, yes, but just the act of saying it, making sure we're aware there's a light-skinned girl and a dark-skinned girl. Don't just go up and favor that light-skinned, make sure that you equally treat them. Don't mistreat the light-skinned girl either. But just be very intentional about making sure the messages that we are sending. And I'm not doing this for sympathy, but I never was told I was pretty most of my life. And I think I had did a photo shoot or something for my hair business, and my mother said, "Oh, you almost kind of look cute here." Now she might have been joking, and I might have been sensitive, but to add on to the other layers, all the trauma and experience, I was just like, "Dang!"
But you know where that come from? Look what she said. Even in joking, it can be detrimental.
So we have to understand, even if we have tough children that we don't think it really affects them, or they never show us that this is messaging, that they will, and we have the audio tape of our experiences playing through our head. Right. We probably can visualize the most traumatic or harmful incidents very clearly in our head. It stays there. Yes. Our brains are computers. It's a computer that holds information. It stores information. Right. It stores pain. If it can't deal with it, it's going to put it someplace.
Compartmentalize it.
And then, and some people never process it, and then it comes out as a personality disorder. It comes out
relationship.
Violence. And their relationship is the number one place to play out your unresolved issues with your parents.
You know what's so funny? I always tell people, you remember we used to sing that song, "Sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you." And that's a lie. You kept on calling a child a name or bad name over the years. It will hurt them. It has hurt them. It has hurt me to a certain extent. So I know I had to, what kind of saved me was the 5% Nation and the Nation of Islam's teachings of who is the original man. The original man is the Asiatic Black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. So when I heard that, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Then they started showing the historic nuances of the original man. Then I started going to Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark and Dr. and listening to all Francis Cress Wells and all these great people. So that's what helped me along the way. I didn't have to go to no psychologist. I didn't go to any psychs. What we call them, what we called them back in the day. No,
I'll break that down because I'm so non-traditional. Go ahead and finish your statement. I got something to say about that too.
And I didn't go to none of that stuff. And I still came out quite well, but you could still, I still have to keep on constantly do the healing and the working and staying on a higher level. And that's why, I do the numbers and keep it as numerovation to motivate myself as well as others. So, no, I applaud what you're doing and what you had to learn from even high school, be dedicating your services to start off. Are you still in connection with people that may have gone through it from high school to now, or that may have gone through the same studies or,
I got not so much. I'm old now, so high school's a long time. I have some childhood friends, but I don't think I'm meeting a lot of newer people. But you said something that was very important. Speaking of school and timing, I did not know my history before slavery until I got to college.
What?
And I had to, as a prerequisite for social work. Wow. At University of Pittsburgh is Africana Studies.
Africana Study, yeah.
Excellent Africana.
Who was the teacher?
I don't remember names. I gotta put my transcripts to look at names.
Because I know the ones in City College with Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Jeffries, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Dr. Professor Smalls. Excellent. They was all there, City College.
Professors there. Yeah. I don't remember all the names, but for me, they were powerful for me. Good. And graduating from the Poconos, that was my last high school. Right. So to go from that to and I even wrote a paper and I said, I think the Egyptians were mixed people. And he was like, C-. They were not. He was so hard on me. But I was like, well, what if I never went to college? But I never how would I have learned this? I'm sure I would have got the information.
Eventually, it would have came to you.
But it was like I would have had to figure it out, figure out who to go to, that I was even missing So I felt, number one, that was powerful. Number two, that started my journey on self-acceptance. Like you said, when you find out who you come from and who you really are, everything changed. That's when I stopped curling my hair. Even though I put braids over my, I got the braids and stuff because I didn't know what to do with my hair. But I was like, I'm not putting another drop of that creamy crack in my head. I didn't say creamy crack.
Creamy crack, yeah.
It wasn't a word back then because I'm old, so it was like another drop of that because I don't want to try to imitate a white woman because of my history. Why would I try to imitate? And I'm not trying to. I'm just being honest on my journey. I went through an angry phase. Right. I was very angry that this information was kept from me intentionally because I stayed with a really, really. Like my self-esteem raised a little bit when I found out that Black people created schools, universities, science, math,
language, everything.
All of language, everything. I didn't know any of that. I just was, and that really impacts our self-esteem in this country when most people think that they come from slaves. And I'm like, these weren't even slaves. These were whole, leaders of civilization. So that was powerful.
It's interesting. Holistic Healer said Pocono schools don't teach anything regarding the true Aboriginal. But yet the word Poconos is from indigenous words.
Yeah, they did do a Native American thing. They did, and so I'm not trying to sound like 100 Black people that say they got Indian in their family. But my grandmother, my great grandmother, I believe she was a quarter Cherokee. I believe her mother Cherokee. Or half. Her mother was Cherokee. Her grandmother, a quarter or a half. Right. So you could see it in my Nana when she passed away a long time ago, but I look like her, except I look a little, my nose is wide, but she had the two braids, long, straight black hair. And so Poconos tried to do this little recognition. And I went and I put the little things on and I didn't know what I was doing, but it was so subpar. It was like, okay, we sitting here and we're doing this dance or something we were doing. And it was just like, but this isn't really.
Right. She said when she moved to the Poconos, that's when she started wearing weaves more.
Because then people looking at you like, do something with your hair, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and in New York, we embrace our natural hair. Well, New York, that's the mecca for that. When you come to New York City, that's like, I'm in Brooklyn. I was raised in Brooklyn. So, we see the afros. My father had a big afro. My mother had a big old afro. And my aunts and all of them when I was younger. I'm a 70s baby, born in 67, 70s baby. So I seen a lot of that stuff. So, I'm sorry that a lot of y'all didn't see it, but we got
no,
to
we
see
didn't. When I got to Brooklyn, that's when my business blew.
Yes.
I really was like, Brooklyn felt so amazing.
Yes.
For me to start to embrace my hair.
Brooklyn to smack you with that culture. Nice, man.
Yeah.
And, no matter what the drama, the underground madness is going on, Brooklyn will smack you with culture, from Caribbean culture to Black American culture to
African,
to Jewish culture to Italian
Russian.
culture.
Yeah, I learned about so much being in Brooklyn.
Everything is in Brooklyn, man. When you go to Coney Island, you see all of that. You see everything in there. So, but what has been some of the challenges when dealing with some of your clients in the hair care? And have you noticed that some of them have gone through their traumas to the point that they don't? Yeah, please talk about it, 'cause I know that's a lot going on in that. I used to manage two modeling agency, and believe me, I know. Just talking to the sisters back in the day, it was something. So go ahead.
We have a lot. There's a lot of layers to everything.
Yes.
But why I even say spiritual therapist, because I think spirituality is, in my opinion, everything. Like it's more than what the eye can see. I also believe that hair is a very spiritual thing. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing independent research in the Brooklyn Public Library on the roots of hair, spirituality across cultures. Mm-hmm. And I'll be picking up that work another time. But I'm saying all this to say, I noticed when my side hustle of doing hair became my main thing, because I always was a social worker, but I started doing it more because it was making me more money and I enjoyed it a little better, had more control of my own business. And then I was hit with the transfer of emotion, the way I was feeling, dude. There's so much that comes up with hair, but also it's a powerful thing. Hairstyling and barbering has always been in the Black community, safe spaces for us. It's very therapeutic in a way. Some people's hairdressers or barbers are like, quote unquote, their unofficial therapists. Especially when you're spending hours on a regular site, on a regular schedule. You getting to know them, they're getting to know you and your family, and you start disclosing more and more. You become like friends. So I noticed we were sharing this mutual, deeper levels of connection through the hair. So, but I also know on a spiritual level, when I touched, and it threw me back, one person who I love to this day, when I touched her hair, I felt like I was feeling her emotions. I had to call my mentor, and I was like, I'm crying. I felt she was sad, but she ended up disclosing something to me very personal.
Okay.
She didn't even know I felt the sadness, and I was like, that's what I was picking up. I was actually picking up, and like it was like transmitting.
Yes.
But a lot of women have disclosed on another way. One woman, I hear their struggles with depression. I hear their struggles with, they may not say it outright. Some of them do say it. Some of them don't know what they're saying, but I pick it up. Their triumphs, their happy times. But I remember someone wasn't keeping up well with her hair. And she said something I still remember to this day. She said, uh-oh, can you see me? Oh, my screen went black for 1 second.
I can see.
Okay, she said, when I feel like everything in my life is falling apart, I can't keep up with my hair. Like I feel like I have no control. Everything is falling apart. And so I can't maintain my hair. But it was really honest and powerful what she was saying. But she ended up not coming back. Well, she came for a while, and I think she just went through a depression. I didn't see her anymore. I checked up on her, but there's ways that people could have been shamed or made to feel bad. Why you can't keep your appointment, or why it is, because she wouldn't follow directions sometimes either about what to do or not to do. And then when she disclosed that, I was like, she doesn't have the energy or the capacity. Like she's really overwhelmed with depression, and I know very well what that's like. So it gave me a different insight into the struggles that we feel as Black women, and I also could identify with some of what she was saying personally. So
of course,
it does come up, and I think there's some more work being done with helping professionals and stylists to really be in tune and be supportive mentally and emotionally. I don't think they should be trying to do the act of a therapist if they're not a therapist. Oh, remind me to get to that. I'm going to get to that topic.
Which one?
She said you found healing and relief by being exposed to how great you are without having to go to a therapist.
Yes. Okay. Let's go. Let's talk about
it. And I always say therapy comes in many forms.
Yes.
We have the stigma for therapy in our community is actually warranted.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm popular. I'm shiny. I say things that are very real, even about my own profession, even about the first diagnosis in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, the DSM.
Yes.
Slaves. Right, is it droptomania, or basically saying if you were trying to run away
run away from the slave, the droptomania, right.
I'm very clear, and I've overseen dozens of interns, and I would tell them these things like you have to understand the racist origin of what this is, because you're walking around the communities of Harlem and Brooklyn and the hood, and as a white person or whatever, you have to understand there's complex views of therapy. Yes, we all need, I feel, therapeutic support. But we have to be careful to not perpetuate the same damage. So you can't approach it the same way with our community, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I know people seek out Black therapists, and some people are like, I saw you were Black, and I saw you had natural hair, and that's why I picked you. And they read the bio. And
that's right. You know, it resonates with them. Yeah. Because that's why, Dr. Africa was in psychotherapy for 13 years. And that's why he wrote African Holistic Health, because he wanted to let people, it's from an ethnic perspective. Ethnicity, it plays a big part. They try to do a one size fit all. It's not one size fit all. We got to stop thinking that white therapist might never know my background of what I've gone through as a Black male inside this American system that we know is just put against it. Like Kaba Hiawatha said in Hidden Colors, my great brother Kaba, another number 7 connected to that number 7. He said, if you was the enemy, wouldn't you do the same thing? Wouldn't you try to shut down the powers of the great people that built those pyramids after you came out of Caucasus Mountains and came out of these mountain regions and you seen us building all types of stuff? Wouldn't you try to stop that energy from and take it over and become, pretend that that's why I got Ashra Kwesi coming to town on September 23rd. Yeah, I got him coming to town September 3rd, him and his wife. And they're gonna break down some of the stuff they're showing on that Cleopatra series, because they're showing one period where they started mixing with them instead of showing the original Cleopatra, who was dark and beautiful and had a dark-skinned husband and all of that. So they trying to mix it all up. They showing the last when they invaded us.
That goes way up to the top, though. Yes. So I think a lot of people at this level, the therapist or whatever, they're just following routine and orders. They're following what they were taught. You have to have a real strength of who you are and standing in truth to be able to kind of go against it. It's going to look like you're going against it because the status quo wants to keep the status quo. So they may not be as aware of what they're doing, but they also sometimes don't have the insight or wherewithal to say, let me go a little deeper and let me behave differently, because that's going to help undo this. Some people just don't, doing it for a job, but only want to work with certain kind of people. There's a lot of things. And I see it in my field, I see it in a lot of helping professionals, but at the top is where the real
exactly. So, and what's so funny, you remember that documentary, Psychiatry of Death?
I didn't see that.
You never seen that? Oh man, you got to see that Psychiatry of Death. It's a documentary, crazy. But the father of psychiatry, Benjamin Rush, born under that January 4th energy, which is another mental health number, he used to try to treat trauma with what you call it, torture. You gonna treat trauma with torture? This is what they did. This is one of the fathers.
I want to. I love that I could talk real in your show.
Talk, girl.
I'm sociology is my minor. I was very interested in sociopathic behavior. And when I took those courses and found out the stats, at that time it was very high, 90. It was like almost, I think it may have been close to 100% of sociopaths were white males between the age of 35. I might be a little off at the beginning age, but the main, 30 to 55 or something like that, 24 to 55, something like that, something in the range that we commonly deal with white men in power. And in combination with all the info I was learning, I really started to have some theories about about genetics and innate. Okay, I don't want to go too far into that right this moment, but I do think there's some things that make people act like what a normal human being wouldn't act like. Let's put it that way. They do some atrocious things and they get levels of power, and they do these crazy experimentations. We already heard of a lot of it. And so to me, it always stood out how those stats and what people had to fight. Michael Bradley, The Iceman's Inheritance book was very powerful. Because it broke down the white man's roots of racism.
I love that book.
Sexism and but it still confirms very much a lot of the theories, because for social work, this is why I say as a social work therapist, we have to take these other courses. We have to have a holistic approach. We take political science and economics and Africana studies because we need to understand how systems play. And racism is one of the biggest parts of social work in any big city. So we have to talk about the origins of race and culture and racism. So hearing what Michael Bradley was saying in his books about feeling I guess I don't want to say pervasive, but I guess pervasive feeling of inferiority genetically causes you to act in such a way to. So if they were truly powerful naturally, then they wouldn't have to fight so hard, like pushing a beach ball under the water to keep it under the water. And we actually would rise up, which is actually our former state of what we were anyway. So I say all that to say, I think there's layers to understanding what's happening around us, how it's affecting us, because racism has affected us so much mentally that we may not make the direct correlation. But and I think it's very important for people to tune in. And I think spiritually is the shift that we need. So whatever that means for people, I can't impose my views on people, because there are people who find faith in everything and being a Christian, whatever works for people. I'm definitely not here to judge, but I do feel like we need grounding on something other than what we see physically. Now we need to stand in our truth and discern for ourselves.
You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. People that are just tuning in, it is now 41 minutes after the hour. And we're not going to keep our sister for too long, but we just want to make sure she come out strong, because she coming out with the 1-2s. I'm liking that. I like 1-2s. I like to bob and weave and watch them. So, hit her up. Spread some love via Cash App if you can. Spread love via Cash App and Super Chat my way also. But make sure you hit her up. Her email is up there. Her IG is up there. This is her website right here. And we're going to show her. Matter of fact, I want to show her website because I want people to acknowledge this beautiful sister doing her thing. I love when sisters are doing their thing. Love when my brothers are doing their thing. This is her website right here, and you can reach to everything dealing with mental health, hair care, empowerment, all of that we can get to. Go ahead, sister. You want to say something?
Yes, and make sure you put Jessyca Marshall without the www right now. Yes. We got. Make sure that the www works, but it works without it.
Right. You do consultations, of course, for mental health therapy, of course.
Here. You can book therapy sessions.
Yeah, and book a therapy session here to empowerment. She's here for you, family, to work with you in any capacity you want. The sister, she's true blue. She's been doing it for a while. She's done forums and seminars. I've checked her out for years. Know what she's doing. I even, I knew she went. I think I know your child's father, right? I think I still know him, right? I knew him, right? Your father.
No, you didn't really know him. He wasn't.
Not him, right?
Let's not talk about that. No,
hey, there it goes. That's one of the things we all healing from relationship stuff. I understand.
Definitely a part of the convo. Yeah, it could be a whole other convo on.
That's a whole other conversation.
I'll be honest, because I plan on. I've been hinting at the book that's been written.
The book. I told you about that. Get right there.
Yes, it's happening. The most important thing I do want to say about that ties in what we've been talking about already with self-esteem is that where we are in the moment. Where I was in that space, I just continued to manifest through making the choices I made. So I'm not necessarily going to say I'm a victim and I picked, or am I going to say I deserved it? No, but I also manifested the damage that I still needed to heal through, and so it materialized into his form. And it was always. So if I could say anything to young women, how important it is at these crucial moments in our life, like creating a child or picking a partner to be with, to have a child with, that we really, really, really go into doing a lot of deep work with ourselves, because we would just create the same if we were abused in any way, whether it's verbally or physically. We will pick that in a partner.
Yes.
And
vice versa, both men and women. They believe me. You got to track that's why I tell people who say they're empathic, they're empath. If you're still attracting quote unquote narcissists, then something in you is pulling them towards.
Well, that's a good combination. Narcissists happen all the time.
Exactly. But tell us what do you feel about the insurgence of this new word? It's not
narcissist is overused. It's oversaturated.
Thank you very much.
So I think there's narcissistic traits.
That's what I'm saying.
And then there's true narcissism, which is probably a lot less common, but still there. One of the telltale signs between a true narcissist is their real, true lack of empathy. Complete lack. So if you've never seen that, in combination with all the other traits, I guess I could pull them out, but to pull them out quickly. But I know that there's that lack of empathy. He did show empathy, but he had narcissistic traits. But he wasn't. I don't think he was a classic, because I try not to diagnose, but I was like, I need to figure this out. I pulled down my books, and I was like, oh, okay. So this. So I think a lot of people are dealing with partners that have narcissistic traits, but also they do what they're allowed to do. It's because something in us is also not putting the brakes on where we should. So they're getting too close, and now they're allowed.
Because I heard another psychotherapist talk about Alicia Watkins. I've had her on my show, Dr. Alicia Watkins, and Boyce Watkins' wife, and she said a lot of people, like you said, throwing it around so fast, when you got to have a certain amount of those traits to fully be a narcissist.
A diagnosis is real, like And some people say I'm antisocial. There's a real diagnosis. You're probably not, because you're probably not trying to kill. Like, there's a lot of things. People we say bipolar. That's a whole, that is pervasive. There's a lot of things that are very common in our community.
Yeah.
Bipolar, schizophrenia is an interesting one, which has me touching the topic of spirituality a lot more, because
what's so funny? Dr. Africa said we all are bipolar because we're both part our mothers and part our fathers. It's just which one you go towards, the negative part. Because common sense will tell you bipolar comes from mother and father side. You've got to be bipolar. We're not looking at it from a commonsensical perspective.
But bipolar is a form of depression, so you got to have other symptoms.
Right. You got to unless you take on something from your mom and dad that take you down the negative road. He goes on to explain it, but he said, but we all are bipolar by nature. We're part mom and part dad. Bipolar means two polar opposites. So we got.
I definitely think, there's a lot more information that we should be incorporating to the field of mental health, and that's why I said we don't just sticking to just westernized treatment is not. I don't think truly effective. We have to go on to either our traditional culture, things that we did, where there are actual cultures, and I was so amazed to read that don't even have a quote unquote mental health problem, like in our indigenous, in Africa, they come here, and there's enough research to show this country will jack you up. First generation, and now you got bipolar, you got all these different things, narcissistic traits. But
is this the leading country? Because I know in the WHO World Health Organization, I know it was 3 countries, and America was one of them. Is this the leading country for mental health?
I don't know.
India was one of them too. India was one of them. That's what it says in their website. India was one of them.
I have to look that up. I've always been laser focused on how this country's jacked up, because it's I see it. But I'll look into that.
Somebody wants to email you, Jessyca. Can I email you?
Okay, I'm gonna put a contact button on Jessyca Marshall. I didn't put one.
Right, but you can email her. You can email her. Email is right here, like I've been showing. It's already there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that email is right there. That email is good, right? The Marshall.
Yeah, and if not, I'll on my website I'll put a contact. It'll go to I do have a therapy one.
That's the website right there. And again, like we said, you could actually see that you can actually book and do some therapy sessions with her or hair care.
If you are in New York or New Jersey, I can do it. Otherwise, we have to go to something like coaching. But I know a lot of your listeners are in New York and New Jersey, so I am licensed to give you actual therapy.
And girl, I'm worldwide, girl, not just there. I'm worldwide. Stop playing.
And insurance is accepted got that. So if you have I think most insurances, you should be able to have it covered. Yeah.
Okay. So family, please go to her website and show her, spread love. She's a beautiful sister. That's her hair. That's the micro lock. Stop playing. She looking good with them micro locks.
Thank you.
With her bag.
And
you got your daughter has the micro locks too.
Yes. Right? A big part of my business is training, and that's something that I always so humble about it, but I really worked to pioneer out of Brooklyn, New York in 2009, and was really good at brand. Microlocks.com, all the versions on my sites. So that's my thing. So if you're interested, but it also speaks to the entrepreneurship, the power of, I always felt hair was powerful, but you can really truly empower yourself. And I went through some really significant times in my life, emotionally and mentally, and my business with the microlocks was what sustained even over the therapy and social work. So it's always good to have a skill that you enjoy doing, but also know
something that you love to do, right?
Yeah, but know how significant hair is. So I fuse that. So we're not just because you don't want to do a poor job and mess up people's hair either, because you're gonna bring more stress.
And please work on your book. Stop playing. Just go get that.
I know. I have something else coming before it really quickly.
Okay.
Thank you for the motivation.
I got to keep on saying it because y'all are supposed to write books. I want to say before this last question, I want to give you that. Iyanla Vanzant said something very keen, very on the Breakfast Club. She said, we might not totally heal in this realm, but we got to manage our weaknesses and strengthen our strength. What do you say about that?
I like that.
Yeah, me too. That's why.
My personal belief is that this is an experience that some people come to.
Yeah, this is an experience
multiple times, and some of us have been here multiple times.
Exactly.
I do think we should be doing the very best that we can.
Yes.
To optimize our experience. I do. What was it? She said what was it again?
Well, she said we might not totally heal in this realm, but we need to manage our weaknesses and strengthen our strengths.
Yeah.
And that the healing part of it, to keep it at a higher level, because she still goes through it to this day.
If you don't, then you're no longer here. And I even think in the after you still, but
exactly.
I want definitely like that, because it's like life is not going to stop giving challenges. Things aren't going to stop being hard, and we get to this magical place where we heal. That's why I don't even like that word, when you heal. Healing is a journey.
It's a journey.
You just become more resilient. You might things that you couldn't deal with, let's say 10 years ago, you can deal with them now better, because you've learned how to cope, you've learned how to handle it, and it's just made you stronger. So I'm always fully transparent. I struggle a lot with, and I'm, full disclosure, we all been through stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And I know when it's coming, so that's good. I'm like, oh wait, man, I'm starting, and I now go to my go-tos to get myself back in a space where I can still be productive. What is it that I need to tell myself? What is it I need to expose myself to?
Yeah, and you put it on your Facebook. That's why I hit you up that day. I seen you put something up, and I said, you know what? Let me hit her up, because
I stopped caring and started speaking, and that's
I noticed that, and I said, okay. So I said, she's a 7. Let me just text her, make sure she's all right, because I know how that could go.
Oh yeah, I was saying I needed help. Yeah. As much as I'm not perfect, I always want to let people know. I think seeing people be real is actually nice.
That's real. That's what I like on my show. I like to keep it real. I'm very transparent.
I'm a perfect therapist. I'm going to tell you, I struggle with a lot. But I think in a very powerful way, in a weird way at first, but now powerful, is that when you've gone through and you've overcome, or you found ways to get through, you become that much more helpful for people who are going through. So I can sit and I don't self-disclose in therapy sessions, but there's someone that has so many similar things of what I've been through. And she's like, this is so helpful. Every session is so helpful. It's helpful because I've been through the same. I'm probably going through the same thing with my own parent, So it's like, not to say that you have to go through it, but there's value even in this struggle. There's lessons. There's silver linings. I always say there's silver linings to everything, and the power will be to step back and say, what am I supposed to learn from this experience that'll make me better, more powerful? Because at some point you're gonna be so strong. nobody can throw anything at you that you can't recover from. Imagine never going through rough stuff. With the quote is, smooth seas don't make a skilled sailor. So you never had to ride a wave, and you would not know how to steer that boat. You fall right off and cry and die.
That's right. That's right.
Or you stand firm and know how to navigate those rough seas, and you can even see them coming and know how to detour, but you would be so much more skilled in life. And that's where the wisdom comes in. I call it mental fortitude.
Right.
So even if it feels very uncomfortable and crazy, and there's always something good to come out. That's the duality of things too. It always is something good that can come out of it. It's really a choice sometimes that we have to make.
Right. Well, I'm proud of your journey, sister. I've known you for many years, and I'm proud of the journey that you and your beautiful daughter, what you're doing with her. Of course, you have to help guide it. Last thing, what would you say between the children and the elderly? How can they fuse and come together to at least serve a greater purpose? Because usually back in ancient times, or back in the ancient history and indigenous history, the elders and the young people used to talk and really converse with each other. You learn the wisdom of the elders, and you learn the new things of the youth. How can that work in mental health right now? This last question.
I always feel we are to learn from each other.
Exactly.
So elders and youth, even our own children, they're birthed to teach us.
Yes.
We have to be willing and open.
That's
also,
right.
we have to be able to give wisdom. You know that there's a difference. I always say there's a difference between elders and elders.
Elders, yes, that's true.
Elders use their wisdom. They go through the journey and the process into this wise space, not just an overgrown child.
Right.
I mean, we can be honest. So I think growing into wisdom and being open and self-aware and self-accountable, really, no real good leader or wise person is not going to take or hear or learn from who they're leading. You know what I mean? You become a dictator. You're not a
exactly.
Where you're incorporating information and finding the best. So that's what I think. Listen to the children, and also be self-aware, it's not just an iron fist and you listen to me and you're not doing, but it's also, I also feel like children are former, transition.
Because even Dr. Valentine said one time, he said, children come through to teach us.
Yeah, they've already been an elder in another life. You want to go there.
Yeah, they're coming from the new world. They're coming back from the old world we came from. We just need to get back.
They look wise. They open. Just to say that my dad said that when I was born.
Wow.
I didn't even cry. He said, I knew you were special. There's a lot of people special that watch his show. But he said, I didn't cry. I opened my eyes.
Wow.
And then I have very early memories. So I knew I was different, just like you and everybody watching. So
I can't wait till your book come out. I can't wait. That's going to be powerful. When you really delve in, it's going to be pressure. Even if you got recorded, if you can't write it, record and let people ask you questions or go back to some old stuff that you did, man. Just record it, man. That's my first book. I recorded my first part of my first book and then started writing at night. I just started.
What was the name of your first book?
Oh, No Promotion is Bad Promotion. Just spell my name right. It was based on my after I left the club life. I used to run Temptation and SOBs.
Right.
After I left the club life, it was writing about it. I don't do the club no more, so I had to write it, and now I'm still making money from it. So beautiful. Nice. And I break down the numbers in between why I took this path and all that kind of stuff. I get into it. And I got a photo glossary in the back with all the artists from Malik Yoba back there with me, Beanie Man, Shabba, all of them back there with me. So I kept it going, but take what I tell people when they retire, reinvent and take what you retired from and write about it and make money from it while you're retired and left it alone. Just leave it alone, keep going. Let it make money on stuff. So I get residuals every 3 to 6 months for that.
That's the goal, passive income, right? Residual
income. Yeah, residual income. That's right. Beautiful, beautiful, Jessyca. Thank you very much for coming on.
Your work is very valued and very big part of navigating mental health. So
thank you very much. And all you do, keep on doing what you do. Family, keep on. I don't have my applause button, but I'm going to applaud her because my sister's here. And this is her website, Jessyca. We're going to do it again now. We might do it on IG next one time. We're going to do something on IG. Let's tear it up on IG one time.
All right.
That should be fun. You be safe, family out there. And you be safe, my beautiful sister. And we'll talk, all right? Thank you very much. Love and respect. Take care. Thank you. That's what my dear Jessyca in the building, Jessyca Marshall. I hope y'all enjoyed every minute of our sister. She did a wonderful job. And remember, you could hit her up. She's a licensed social worker, spiritual psychotherapist, spiritual and psychotherapy, because that's mental and spiritual, and that will help with physical development. She uses and fuses all of that with her hair care. So if you want to beautify your locks and make your locks look good, this sister can hook it up. She got the real micro locks. She know how to make it happen. Hit her up at Marshall_Jessyca. That's Jessyca, not the regular Jessica that you usually see with white girls, but at Hotmail. Hit her up at IG at microlockmastery, microlock.mastery. And those micro locks are easier to handle, to tell you the truth. Those that have the thick locks compared to those they're much easier to handle when you're washing it and all that kind of stuff. I noticed that. Also hit her up at Here to Empower, and her Cash App is $NBHC. That's NBHC. And her website, this is her website. Once again, this is a beautiful website. Let me put it on the screen again. Right here, put it on the screen again. This is her website. Make sure you support her website. And you could also book a session, mental health therapy. Book a virtual therapy session with her. She's licensed in New York and New Jersey, and she also accepts most insurances. Hair care and training. She can show you how to manage your micro locks or manage your lock or whatever you want to do. Also, Here to Empowerment, non-for-profit organization that highlights the power of hair and beauty to impact on our sense of self-worth, identity, self-esteem, and community. So big up to her for all that she's doing. And we respect what she's doing. I respect what she's doing. Big up to what she's gone through and have done. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in and locking in. Yes, big up to y'all. Thank you very much again, Jessyca. And big up to you, Arina, of course, Royal Locks. Big up to y'all. Of course, Precious, big up to you. Big up to Holistic Healer, Holistica Healer. She's been in the building. Also, big up to this person, Marro and Strawberry. Big up to all of them that came on. Crystal Chambers, everybody that came through. Tracy that came through. Miss Rain, thank you for coming through. Also, Tasha Rain for coming through. And everybody, remember, share this broadcast to build the algorithms, because it's all about sharing information. Like I said, I only bring on quality people. They might be new to you. They're not new to me, but there's somebody that I've probably been checking out and examining and checking them out, see what they're going to do and how they're doing things. So enough respect to all that she has done, Jessyca Marshall. Just want to let y'all know, of course, and remind you, dear family, that after Jessyca Marshall, you go to this YouTube channel. This beautiful sister and the beautiful doctor that's representing is also doing something on this YouTube channel, Official House of Reawakening Minds. Hit Dr. Shakira Moore, one of my not only advertisers, but one of the partners in workshops and all that. And Dr. G is doing something great on Tuesday, June the 27th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. The eyes are the windows to your health. That's what they're going to be speaking on. And coming back to my station and my show, we have, of course, Dr. Shakira Moore will be on with me on July 5th. She's the first one on Wednesday, July 5th. She'll be with me at 8 p.m. doing something a little different than iridology, but showing you how it all works out for centering and helping your greater self, because your greater self is waiting on you. Nobody's coming to save you. Your greater self is waiting on you to recognize that you are God having a human experience. And big up to Riziki that's going to be coming back. Last time I had her with a group of people back in the day, but this time I'm bringing her on, showing you how Nubia, Afro-Asiatic cultures are responsible for the emergence of Tantra and much more. So she's going to be doing some great things in Africa, of course, with the Tantra and the healing and all that kind of stuff. July 9th, she'll be here. And do big up to my sponsors of this particular program. 100 subscribers will win 500 grams of silver. Make sure you go to banksilver.org. And don't forget Lloyd Strayhorn, lloyd-strayhorn.com, the world-renowned astronumerologist, my dear friend and one of my teachers. Book a session, purchase his products, sign up for his newsletter and his courses. And just want to remind everybody that the first annual Conscious Awards is coming up on July the 30th. brought to you by Billy Carson of Forbidden Knowledge and Elizabeth Huckster, his beautiful fiance. And I will be there on the red carpet and in the VIP section having a good time. And if you're in New Orleans, myself, Lloyd Strayhorn, Aquarius Maximus, Jackie Levine, and Nina Diamond will be in New Orleans. If you live in New Orleans, you get it for a cheaper price. But if you're going to book for a hotel and everything, make sure you go to the website now, stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. And then I go to New York again with Baba Ashra Kwesi and Mira Kwesi. The early bird tickets are till July the 1st. From June the 1st to July the 1st, then it's going up an extra $5. It's going to go up to either $30 or $35, at $5 to $10. So if you want to get on my Cash App and PayPal list, please text me. I have not put up the Eventbrite link yet. Please text me at 347-496-1022. If you want to advertise, you can text me also, but also make sure you email me. It's best to email me for the advertisement. If you want to sponsor a segment or sponsor a commercial, be in a commercial cluster, please hit me up at ksptvmedia@gmail.com. That's KSPTV, King Simon Presents TV Media @gmail.com. If you're in Delaware, go to Drop Squad Kitchen, hit them up on numbers and find out. I think they open 7 days a week, but they open for a certain time. Make sure you hit them up or Google them. EPS, Holistic Health and Wellness .square.site. Great products as far as for muscle healing. If you're doing workouts and all that, I use it. I carry it with me all the time. Also, 10% off if you're going to Nicholas. Hit up Nicholas Brooklyn in Manhattan and Nicholas Brooklyn in Brooklyn. Hit them up. You want to find out more information, go to 858-4400. That's 718-858-4400. They got all kinds of stuff. Crystal, sea moss, elderberry, herbal teas, shea butter, black soap, incense. They are the original ones for many years. And remember, Baba Ashra Kwesi does an event, take people to Cairo, to Nubia, sometimes also to Ethiopia. So hit them up at 214-371-0206. Remember, this is a historic, not a metaphysics travel. This is a historical event. Tell them King Simon sent you and you'll get hooked up. Remember, if you want any of my books, go to Linktr.ee/King Simon, the Numerovator. If you want to take the 2-hour course on Udemy, you can find out the rates are usually $9.99 to $84.98. Depends on how they do it, Udemy. But you can go to udemy.com and put in Holistic Numerovation, or go to my Linktree/King Simon, the Numerovator, for the 2-hour introductory course. That's all it is. This is the 8-hour full course meal. Holistic Numerovational course. Make sure you study, but then apply it for yourself. If you want to book a session with me, text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. Remember, I have a waiting list. I got 10 or 9 slots left in July. If you want to book, my waiting list is into July. But if you want to interrupt my list, there is a price to interrupt my list if you want to get it earlier. All right. Remember, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And like Dr. B. Sirius says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, because no one is perfect in this realm. And we're going to close out with Dr. Delbert Blair's prayer. Take a deep breath, relax, support Dr. Delbert Blair's website. That's the metacenter2.com, the metacenter2.com. And here is Dr. Blair's prayers. Let's do it together. Ja, li, tu, uno, dos, tres. 1, 2, 3. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back of the room. Remember, support Dr. Blair's website right there on the bottom. Here we go. Please, universal creator, know in our hearts that we love you. Please protect us and this planet on which we live now. Please open my mind, or our minds, our spirits, and our souls to receive only truth in your love now. Thank you, Dr. Blair. For those that are in prison, hold on. Remember, live in your mind, because no one really can control your mind. So live in your mind. I've been in jail, not a prison, but I've been in jail where I had to stay in for 3 nights. And I went under a vent where the air was blowing, and I closed my eyes and folded my legs and got into a meditation position and just thought myself out of there. Next minute, they was carrying me out, went to court. There it is. I'm out. didn't belong there anyway for protecting, fighting police officers, protecting my mother back in those days. So it is what it is. I'm here in the 90s, things could have happened. Look, that's when, Rodney King went down. I could have went through that too, but it so happened that I'm supposed to be here. The Creator deemed me to be here at this time to help y'all, to guide you, to learn when things go wrong, don't go with it. Stay in the highest vibratory level. Now, if people touch you, you got to do what you got to do. If you're not to break hands and do jiu-jitsu and whatever or box, whatever, do what you got to do. But make sure you're in the right, never in the wrong. Make sure you're in the right, never in the wrong. Let me, why is my phone not stopping? Yeah, make sure you're in the right and not in the wrong, and make sure you check out my last broadcast that I did recently on the numerovation of witch, numerovation of the word witch. I break it down very good and very thoroughly with the numbers and, show it how each one of us are doing quote unquote wise craft, or what they call witchcraft. All of us are doing it. So on that note, let me close out. 3 great people that I want to close out with: Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, and Sister Maya Angelou. I will start off with Marcus Mosiah Garvey, where he says, "Up, you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. One love, one aim, one destiny." Dr. Khalid used to say, "Regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one God. No matter what you call him or her or it or the divine mother and father, but one energy force, and all of us are gods having a human experience." And in the immortal words of Maya Angelou, "And still we rise." Continue to rise to the top, family. Continue to stay strong. Continue to stay focused. Continue to stay at your highest and wisest self. And once again, thank you, Jessyca, for coming on. And thank all of you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. King Simon Presents, only quality people. Take care. Peace and love.
Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Greetings. Enter to win 500 grams of silver grains. The 100 subscriber to banksilver.org will win 500 grams of silver, 0.999 grams.
Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Strayhorn, inviting you to heal with the numbers and cards in person at the Circle of Cosmic Consciousness Retreat in New Orleans. Go to stshealing.com to learn from the Masters, Aquarius Maximus, King Simon, Nina Diamond, Jazz Aphrodite, and myself. Don't forget, New Orleans, August 17th through the 20th at the Cosmic Consciousness Retreat. Register now at stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. See you there.
Hey everyone, Billy Carson here, aka Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about an amazing event. It's the Forbidden Conscious Awards going down in Miami, July 30th, 2023. Go to forbiddenknowledge.com where you can pay for tickets. We're giving away 12 amazing awards. We're also going to give away an Audi A4 live at the event with big celebrity guests like Habit from Mobb Deep, myself, Forbidden Knowledge. Also, we'll have Dame Dash, performances by Donnie Arcade, and Cruz. I want to see you there, July 30th, the Forbidden Conscious Awards.
Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numerovator. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerovator. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now. Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com or Linktr.ee at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.
Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%. Or prosperous righteous teachers. We gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the classes.